This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. In the field with my dogs, like the Sixers, we gon' ball. Wake up early in the morning, tune in anytime at all. Hard time, all season, don't believe in off seasons. Watch the Phillies, watch the Flyers, and the Eagles on the weekends. Yeah, this is not your ordinary radio show. Ain't just talking sports, we be talking about the culture. All across the globe, anything you wanna cover. This is for the fans, no room for our front runners. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad and Emery Show. Season premiere. Marques, Brad and Justin Emery.
That song has got me so hype.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get my intro. Yo. That song has got me so hype. Let's go!
Yes. New season.
Oh, let's go.
New song. Who dis? Shout out to OKB official for giving us that heat.
Yeah, real quick background story. The song was sent to me unsolicited and no warning shots.
No.
It was sent to me about what, 8:40 in the morning?
Yeah.
Much earlier than the usual Marques Branham
opening time.
Alert messages come in. They usually come in around like 10:30. This was before the 9 o'clock hour even started.
Yep.
So I knew anytime that he sends me just a file, it wasn't even just and it's not an email, a text message file.
Yeah.
I got to open that.
Yeah, immediately.
I did.
Been under wraps for about a month. Got it done just in time because it's a big day. It's September 6th, and we are in week 1. If you guys are watching us live, you can see the scroll. If you guys don't know the NFL schedule, we got it right here, right in front of you, so you can see.
Now you do.
Now you do. We're 48
I have to
hours
keep
away.
reminding myself that it's Tuesday, not Monday.
Right. Yeah.
Yesterday, Labor Day, it was Monday. We have a game in
48 hours.
54 hours.
Yep. Yeah. So it's always an exciting time when football gets started. Today, even though it's a little gloomy outside, you feel the chill in the air.
Yeah.
71 degrees. It was very rainy, but you feel that chill. The football chills in the air. I'm already starting to crave the wings in the crock pot. I'm ready to go. Preseason, we didn't really talk a lot of football because it's just getting less and less necessary to talk football before this week. Yeah, it really is. It's just not like people who do it. Yeah, listen, it's basically filler talk. There's nothing really of substance you can pull from what you're seeing now, especially preseason. Jalen Hurts and the first team, they played a grand total of 3 minutes?
I think he had
it was like two series.
6 passes total, something like that.
Right. So unless you're down there and you're in the trenches at training camp, you're not really seeing day-to-day what's going on. So a lot of it's hearsay. So really, as we ramp up and get excited about talking about football, the real conversations won't take place till next week. But we got to start talking about it because, it's here. And this is interesting while I was thinking about this team, the way this team is set up, because, you look at the offensive line check, defensive line check, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So now the backfield is check.
How about we didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Not at all. Not at all.
So that
Because
Howie
while we were off.
out doing other Howie things again.
Yeah. Yep.
But
So, everything's a check. And it's almost like as a kid, when you're putting together your puzzle, like, you have that favorite puzzle, like these puzzles, like kids are very repetitive. Like we like to do things over and over again. Like it's something you do over and over again. It's not something you just do when you get a puzzle, you read a book. If you really like that puzzle, your book, you're gonna go back to it again. It's gonna happen.
kids, I do that.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, and some adults do. There's adults that reread books and rewatch movies and things like that. So, but sometimes as you're putting that puzzle together, and you're completing that puzzle, there's a piece missing. So you have two options. Is this piece in the house somewhere that I misplaced the piece? Is it lurking around? Do I have to look underneath the bed? But is it somewhere close? Or is this puzzle just a dub and I have to go outwards to either get a new puzzle or I have to just chalk this up as it's over. So that's kind of where we are with the Eagles right now. You're looking at a puzzle. You could say a 500 piece puzzle because I think putting together an NFL team is complex. So I'm gonna give it a 500 piece.
Why can't it just be easy math and just do a 53 piece puzzle?
Okay, I was going for the big guy.
I mean, there's 53 players.
Yeah, okay, 53. Okay, I see what you're going. All right, yeah, we could do that. We could go that direction. We have 53 piece puzzle, and we have 52 pieces we're sure of. We basically have 52 pieces we're sure of.
I didn't know we were having this conversation right off the bat.
How do you not? Because I want to do it now because the evaluation really starts next week.
Yeah.
I want to set the table for what really we have.
Not even next week. We're talking 5 days.
Correct. This is a unique situation. I want to paint the picture vividly because I don't think people understand how unique a situation this is.
No, I don't think so
every day in sports, let alone especially in football, where you have a team that's really, really well put together.
Mm-hmm.
You have a team that's stacked. You have a stacked roster on paper. Obviously, we'll see Sunday and moving forward. But you look at it on paper, this roster is stacked. There's no question marks anywhere except the most important position on the field.
In all of sports.
It's really, really odd. It's an oddity. This is a very, very interesting position to be in. And I can't stress enough because like I said, going back to my puzzle analogy, the piece could be in the house. Like literally it could be under a bed. It could be there. You need to find it and put it in there. And that piece is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
But like the piece also could be it could not be there at all. You might have to go out and get a whole new puzzle piece if you're gonna put that puzzle piece together, or a whole new puzzle.
I mean, we've said this many times before. The best case scenario is that this works out.
Yes.
Right. So let's just put that out there. Best case scenario, this all works out. But like you said, this doesn't. He's at a crossroads where he's either going to make $200 million or he could be Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, he's deserving and good enough to be an NFL player. He's an NFL quarterback. Is he an NFL quarterback in this city? I don't know. You don't know. No one really knows that, but we'll know it by January 21st. And hopefully much earlier before then. The worst case scenario is if you have the end of this year and you're asking yourselves the same questions that you were last year. That is when you have major issues. Now, 6 preseason passes, how are we supposed to take anything away from that? You and I could go out and throw 6 passes to each other and probably under the span of 5 minutes. So we can't take anything away from that. I'm not a beat reporter. I'm not at practice every day. You're not a beat reporter. You're not at practice every day. We're just stuck reading what they're saying about Jalen Hurts, which for some reason seems to be not consistent like most things are. You have some reporters, I'm not going to put their names out there because you can just go look them up on social media, that are very pro Jalen. You have some reporters that are like, I'm kind of worried about what's going on right here. Whereas these are the eyes that are there every day. Why do we not have a consensus opinion on this guy when these guys are seeing the same exact thing? That's an issue. If you have people that are watching this that can't agree on it, how is we supposed to take this away as fans that this is supposed to be the right guy?
So you haven't just stepped into my fears. You leapt into my fears.
Hopefully I backflipped into him.
Yeah. So what you said going back in the beginning of your statement is my biggest concern and my biggest fear of this is after this season's over, he's going to do just enough to make you say, well, maybe he needs another year. And because I don't think he's going to come out here and just be completely awful. I don't think
Neither do I. I don't think he's going to, he belongs in the NFL. He's an NFL player. He's not going to come out here and Mark Sanchez this. Okay. He's not going to come out here and, I understand he's a starting quarterback for the Vikings, but Kirk Cousins and throw up all over himself. He's not going to do that. But is he going to make the necessary strides to get to the next level of where you need to be? This is a ready-made roster.
Right.
With a ready, the biggest questions are defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, head coach, quarterback. Then what the fifth problem, the fifth question mark with this is, and I hesitate to use the word question mark, but the first four, that's what it falls down to, is can Jeffrey Lurie keep his nose out of this? That's where we're at. We're not worried about, like you said, the defensive line. We're not worried about the offensive line. The secondary, you ran them all off to start the top of the segment. It's ready-made. We actually have linebackers. Marcus, we have linebackers. I didn't fumble my words. We have linebackers. We have the best offensive line in the NFL. We have the best depth on offensive line in the NFL. We have a top skill position unit collectively. We have a top 3 to 5 tight end. I'd say the wide receiver room is a top 7 to 5 to 7 wide receiver room.
Yeah.
And the running back room is top 10 running back room. Combine all of that together, you're probably top 3 to 5 as a skill unit collectively. You have, and I don't like to use this because you don't want it to be the primary thing. You have a top 3 running quarterback. Obviously not one, Lamar's number 1. You have either the second or third best running quarterback. The question isn't really the quarterback, because we know he puts the work ethic in and he has the drive. We know he has the I word. We've beaten that word to death. We know he can move. Really, the question is, can the quarterback throw? And here's the problem. We're talking about a physical change. He's not a mutant, Marcus. He's not going out here and morphing. We're not going to have some scenario where we have the Monstars come and give him this talent and this ability to get bigger. This guy, and I hope it works out, because it sounds like I'm bashing him, and I'm not. I'm not bashing him. I just have major, major concerns that the eye test is revealing to me that have not been answered yet. And until they're answered, those questions have to arise. And the more time that passes, the bigger those questions become.
Yeah, it's not just about his ability to make throws. It's also his ability to read defenses and his ability to go through progressions of his reads.
But the reason why I'm not too concerned about that is that we know his work ethic, or his rumored work ethic. I don't know him personally. I don't think you know him personally. Is Jalen up on the mountain?
No, he's not here.
Not here. Okay, just checking. So it's just what we hear. But we hear everywhere he's got the like first guy in, last guy out, all that. If
Right.
he is, and you don't go and play at Alabama and Oklahoma and those kind of programs if you're not a bright football player when it comes to the X's and O's. So I'm actually not worried about him learning to read the defenses, because I think he has the like I said, the intelligence and the drive to achieve those. So that's not what I'm worried about. I don't think this dude's ever going to be able to make the throws. And that's my red flags. I'm not as concerned as far as the processing goes. Gave him the whole offseason, etc., all that extra time. I know he was in the lab. I don't have to worry about him. He wasn't out at Magic City. He was in the lab. I know that. I'm a little less concerned about those things. Obviously, last year was a major problem. I'm a little less concerned about him progressing in that area than I am about the physical problems he has on the field.
I don't chalk it up to where I'm coming from is I don't see his lack of intelligence. I think he's a panicker. Like he gets that first read, sees it, doesn't like it, I'm out. And honestly, it's all like it's almost chicken and the egg what we're doing right now, because some of it is maybe he doesn't trust his arm, because there's certain throws that he hasn't been able to make. Like those, like listen, Jalen's seam to seam is fine. He can do the seams,
yeah.
But it's those sideline routes that are so important to a guy like Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith lives on the sideline. He lives on those out routes on the sideline, and he has trouble with those type of throws. And that's what we're going to see where, like you said, he is who he is as far as athletically speaking. We know he's a great athlete. The arm is something that is questionable. We don't know, and I'm interested to see those type of throws. We'll be able to make those throws.
And I don't think it's an issue. There's two different types of arm strength. I don't think he has a problem getting the ball down the field. I think he has the strength to get the necessary distance. I question, does he have the velocity behind the throws? Like Andrew Luck, they used to say, listen to him just throw the ball at practice. Now, I've never been to a Colts practice. I don't know. But those that have been there said the ball just sounds different coming out of his hands. When it hits the receiver's gloves, it pops different. It's the same thing as in baseball. When you hear a 96 sounds different than 98. 98 sounds different than 101. The pop just sounds different.
Right.
I don't know if Jalen has that. I don't worry about him. Can he drive the ball far enough down the field? Now, number 11, that dude could rip it.
Yeah.
But Jalen has enough distance, I believe, on his arm. It's the velocity is what my question is. Those sidelines, where if you don't rip that out, that corner is going to come up, pick that out, and go pick six with it. That's the where throws I question. Not the distance, the velocity.
It's interesting too, like you mentioned. So we're going back to the puzzle. I mean, you mentioned. I mean, it's pieces that I wasn't even thinking about coming into this, because you're right. The head coach, offense coordinator, defensive coordinator. We have no idea. Like the head coach, I think I know. I think I do. And again, going back to the way he handled last year, starting ironically with Detroit, of figuring out a way to have that team win.
I would like Nick Sirianni to assume the role of CEO coach.
Yes.
I want him to assume the role of the Mike Tomlin, the John Harbaugh, the Pete Carrolls. They're not calling plays. Sean McVay, he's calling the plays. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys that call the plays. The majority of them.
Yeah,
I got you. Here's the thing that makes me really I don't know if worry is the right word. Hopeful that this is what it's going to be. Like, he needs to be that, and that reason is that out of the 32 head coaches in the NFL, do you know how many of them are offensive guys? 24 of the 32 guys are offensive guys. Okay. Of those 24, do you know how many of them are calling their own plays?
handful?
23. Nick Sirianni is the only offensive head coach in the NFL not calling his own plays. Not what you want to hear. Unless he's CEO coach.
Right.
Which then it's okay.
Right. And you figure
Most of those guys, though,
part of the game plan.
Yeah, like I said, most of those guys, the Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, defensive guys. I believe John Harbaugh was a special teams. Yeah, especially non-offensive guys. The offensive guys, the Zach Taylors, the Sean McVays, the who's the guy in Cleveland? Kevin Stefanski. Those guys are calling their own plays. Doug Peterson now down with Jacksonville, calling his own plays.
Michael Floor.
Yeah, calling his own plays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense unless it's the CEO, like you said, CEO coach. Again, going back, defensive coordinator, we think we might know. I gave him a pass last year. A lot of people.
No pass this year.
No pass this year. My pass from last year is that you look at that defense, he didn't have the pieces. That was a pass.
You went to battle last year with one real player on that defense,
right,
and one half player alongside him with Fletcher Cox.
Yeah,
you really on that side of the ball, you had Slay and a bunch of Jags.
Yeah.
They were just a guy.
Yeah.
Now you got Reddick. I think maybe the most undercovered and least spoken about addition, Kaiser White on the defense.
Yeah.
I can't believe not San Diego, LA let him go.
Right.
Granted, it seems all of a sudden they have a plethora of defensive guys over there, which we'll get to them. I have some things about them later on when we get to around the league, the Chargers. But Bradbury, just bringing in Chauncey, the guy they just got? Gardner Johnson. Gardner Johnson. They just brought him in. You already had Slay, who's the other safety? They Epps that now back there. They like him. Avante.
Yep.
They got BG back. You got it. Yes, looks good. He's regularly on the radio doing various hits, and he's like I lost 20 pounds. I'm ready to go.
Love it.
So,
yeah, I mean, so defense coordinator, offense coordinator, who we don't really know much about.
I don't even know what the offensive coordinator looks like, Marcus. I know. I'm kidding. I had to look up a picture of him earlier today because I wanted to make sure I was well
prepared. Yeah,
prepared for that. I honestly didn't even know what he looked like. I had to look him up.
Yeah, I mean,
first I had to look his name up, and then I had to look him up.
Sean Steichen.
Shane
Steichen. Yeah, Shane. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. We're off to a great start here with this guy.
Yeah.
We're off to a great.
I mean, listen. I mean, it is. I mean, this puzzle. You got most of the pieces, and it's weird too because I'm more excited about the idea of football starting right now than I am the Eagles, because as we move forward and move into this, because of those unknown, even though it looks like we have the majority of the puzzle, those are big pieces.
Ooh, they're the biggest.
They're huge pieces.
They're the biggest
pieces. Like we're talking about the face.
I was gonna say you're looking like the eyes.
Yeah, like you need these.
Yeah.
So
big time.
It's more. It's for me, and I know the national guys are really really hype on the Eagles. Most local guys too. For me, it's a wait and see. Let's see what happens because I just don't know. Like there's a lot of reasons you could be excited from all the pieces we do have, but those pieces that we don't are very important, and it's gonna stagnate. Whatever else you have, however great everything else is, if these things aren't working, this is not going to work.
Yeah. I'm hoping for the best. I think they're going to have a good season. I know in a little bit, or maybe real soon, we'll be getting into the wins and losses. And I think they're going to have a good season. I really do. I'm very cautious. I'm wading in extremely cautiously.
So it was nice. The end of the last season was nice getting into the playoffs, even though for me personally, I was not enjoying watching them week to week the way they were playing football because I thought that was just it kept them competitive, but the actual watching of it was not something I think if people get honest themselves, I don't think anyone wants to watch that style of football week in and week out. What I don't want is, to go on a run like that to get in and then kind of know in that playoff game. Well, now listen, I'm not going to rewrite history. I thought they had a shot against the Bucks, and just going there and
Oh,
realizing,
I vividly remember saying on this very show, "Bring me your goat."
yeah, and
I was wrong.
right.
I looked like a fool, but
We-
I said it
like,
many times.
imagine going into a game where you think you're playing the same sport and you're playing two different sports. But
Oh
that's what it
yeah,
looked like. Like it looked, they weren't even competitive in that game.
No.
Like if they lost a close game in the fourth quarter, Brady, last second drive. Okay, I'm feeling good going the off season. But I remember I was upset the week that Monday show afterwards. I was upset because
I slept through the majority of the third quarter.
it looked like we have to start over. Now, they have gone out and really, I mean, how he really worked hard on making everything around Jalen Hurts better. Everything around him better to the point where there really can't be if he does go out here and it doesn't go well, there's no excuses why except he's just not good enough. We're not going to come back if he doesn't do well and say, well, he could have the offensive line wasn't that great or the receivers weren't that great, the running backs weren't that great, the tight ends were no. There's no excuses at all. For the only thing you can say is he's just not good enough if he doesn't do well. It's really that simple. And
now there's a difference between you'll be able to tell if it's his fault or if it's the other player's fault. Now, because he can come out, I don't think this is going to happen, but there does exist a scenario where he comes out, plays well, but the rest of the team doesn't. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm talking about dropped passes, Miles Sanders coughing the ball up, the defense giving up 40 points a game. Like I said, I don't think these things will happen, but he can go out and play and those things occur.
Sure.
But we're all highly unlikely. You're going to know if this season doesn't go as planned or as potentially planned, it's going to fall all on number one.
And that's what's wild about this too, because what is the plan? Because you got a team that literally could be Super Bowl contenders. They could be, divisional round, winning a wild card game. They're literally all over the place. You don't see this often.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I know we're going to, like I said, we're going to get into around the NFL in a little bit, but they're not even the only team in the NFC that's like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking off the top of my head, the 49ers. I think the Eagles and the 49ers are very similar in the way they're built right now. Where you got a lot of pieces.
If put Russell Wilson on the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super Bowl contenders.
Yep.
Put I don't want to use the same quarterbacks. I'm trying to think of another example. Who's a guy that moved this could be moving?
A guy that could be moving or a guy
put
Deshaun Watson.
There, put Deshaun Watson on the Eagles.
Yeah.
Super Bowl contender.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Obviously we're talking about just on the field.
Right.
Nothing else. But if you had Russell Wilson on the 49ers, you had Deshaun Watson on the Eagles, if you told me they met on the NFC title game, would you sound crazy?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And that's what makes this so interesting to talk about this, because I don't I'm pretty sure what's going to happen on Sunday, but
did you hear the news? There may be a tiny little wrench in the plans for Sunday. Are you familiar with the status of A.J. Brown's wife.
What is happening? No.
Any day, he's going to be a new dad.
Oh, okay.
Any day.
No.
And it's believed it's his first.
Yeah, he's not missing that. You can't miss
No.
that. But you can't. But the Detroit Lions, even if he's not available.
But the thing is that I don't trust the quarterback without him. That's where it comes out to. Because if you take A.J. Brown away, what's different than last year other than you don't have Reagor?
Yeah.
We're back to last year, just without Reagor.
Yeah.
That's my big thing.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, this is just what is coming is that any day.
Yeah. Well, the first ones typically, speaking from experience, first ones typically take a little longer than they usually go beyond the due date. So I don't know what Mama Brown's due date is, but
I don't know, but I just know any day.
Yeah. So
like she's under a week away from her 9-month mark is what they said today.
She's not going to deliver by Sunday. I can guarantee that. If that's where we're at, she's not delivering by Sunday.
They asked Ruben Amaro because he was there. They're like, as a former general manager, what would you do? Without hesitation, he's like, if it won't hurt the health of mom or the baby, you induce early. Like, didn't miss a beat.
Spoken like a general manager.
He's like, as long as the baby and mom will both be healthy and fine and everything, I'm inducing early. And everybody was just like no. He's like, no second thoughts. He's like, if I can get him on the field, get him on the field. And I was like you said,
he's gone from they leave what, Saturday? They leave.
It's a early enough. It's a short enough flight to probably leave Saturday morning.
So you leave Saturday morning. You play the game. You can get him on a special.
Oh no, they leave after the game. We'll be back.
They'll leave after the game, but like if he needs to get out of there,
like you can get him on a charter from the police escort from Ford Field to Detroit International to
and land him right on the roof of the hospital.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't land a plane on the hospital. You got to get him off the plane.
Helicopter.
There you go. You don't want to be like that. That's
plane. Yeah, that's aggressive. But yeah, the helicopter, we could definitely get that done. But the odds are
Michael Rubin's got it covered.
Yeah, Michael Rubin will take care. Yeah, I agree.
He'll take care of that for you.
He'll take care of it. All right, so that's kind of we kind of wanted to set the scene. That's kind of where we're at with the Eagles right now in this puzzle. We'll know more as we go forward, but we waited to do the next. We're going to do wins and losses, and we waited to do this because now, to me, this makes sense. This is really when we should be doing wins and losses. When the schedule comes out, it's a little silly. Like we're planning for something where we have no idea what the roster is going to be. You don't. There's a lot of things you don't know.
Yep.
Now we know what the team is right now. We know who the team is. We know who the other teams are. Now is a good time for the wins and losses. So. Without further ado, if you wouldn't mind pulling up the schedule,
have it right in front of me,
and let's. I love it. Let's get to it.
Now, do you want me? So, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to go? We'll go back and forth and then tally them up. Do you want me to give you my total beforehand and then how I got there? How do you want to?
Let's go back and forth. Let's go through each game.
Okay.
Back and forth. So starting on Sunday, Lions.
Week 1, Eagles at Lions. I got it as a win.
Me also. I feel a win too. I think.
Okay.
Everyone's excited about the Lions because of the hard knocks, and I think they're gonna be better because you've watched them last year. They could have won more than 3 games. They were in a lot of games, So I see them winning 6-7, but I don't think that starts on Sunday. I think the Eagles win the game.
I agree. You have week 2, Monday night, tailgate night.
Yes.
Vikings at Eagles.
Little better opponent, but I still feel same result. I think the Eagles win the game. Coming home, Monday Night Football, home opener. The Vikings are who they are. They're going to be good. They'll be in the playoff hunt. But if you look at the rosters, I think the Eagles have a better overall team. And I like the edge on the quarterback also. So I think we start off 2-0.
I have a win as well. I'm right there with you, 2-0. Week 3, Eagles go down to D.C. and play the Commanders.
Loss. I think this is the first loss of the year. The Eagles historically don't really perform well in Washington. They don't. And I think again, I think the Commanders will be better than some people do. I actually have the Commanders finishing second, as I stated before, in the league. I think Carson's going to have a really, really good year. I think it's set up for him to have a really, really good year. This is his last chance. I like the Commanders week 3.
Yeah, I'm right there with you for all the exact same reasons you mentioned. It's the beginning of the year. Carson usually, if he falls apart, when he falls apart, happens at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Games of week 3. The Commanders have weapons.
Yes, they do.
Carson can throw that rock.
Yes, he can.
Those receivers down there, they can run. Now, the Eagles got corners that can run, but the Commanders' safe receivers, they can run too.
Yes.
I think this is some revenge for him. I also got it as an L.
1,000%.
Week 4, Doug and the Jaguars come to town with Trevor Lawrence, October 2nd against the Eagles.
Interesting storyline, not an interesting game. I think the Eagles win convincingly. I think, I don't think the Jaguars are much improved. Doug's an upgrade over coach, obviously. Trevor Lawrence in the second year, you expect him to be better, but I don't think they have everything yet to put it together. I think the Eagles bounce back and win convincingly.
I will be forever grateful for Doug Peterson bringing a Super Bowl to this city. He is a big upgrade over Urban Meyer, who, let's see, this is a better upgrade of a coach than Urban Meyer in the NFL. But with all due respect, the Jaguars suck. So Eagles win.
Yes.
You got week 1, 2. I don't want to mess up their bye because I know they have an early bye. Week 5. Going to the desert and playing the Cardinals.
Again, not a place where they perform well historically. I got this loss. You can say a lot of the things we said about the Commanders, say about the Cardinals, in the sense that, a lot of things you say about Carson Wentz, you can say about
Kyler,
where he performs very, very well early. They usually come out firing all cylinders. They're really good at home. And again, the Eagles just don't play well down there for some reason. So I think a loss.
I also have November, December. He'll fall off. This game is only I think this is going to be an L. Now, if they can, I want this to be noted. They could end 5-0 after these 5 games.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
But I'm like you. I have them at 3-2 through these 5.
Possibility, not a probability.
Yes. Week 6, another primetime game. Cowboys come to town.
I like them. I like them.
Sunday night.
They're home. This is.
Oh, hold on. Timeout, Marcus. Hold on. I think I need to interrupt you real quick and go back to address the Cardinals game real quick. I think there's a factor that neither one of us weighed in real quick. DeAndre Hopkins will still be suspended.
I did think about that.
Okay, I forgot about that. I'm going to change mine to a win for that reason.
For that reason alone? Okay.
For that reason alone, I don't think Kyler can manage to do that without Hopkins.
Okay.
So I'm changing real quick. I'm just changing mine to a win.
I'm keeping mine as well. So it's interesting because the Eagles and the Cowboys have been meeting on Sunday Night Football
forever.
However, interesting enough, this is usually this matchup is in Dallas.
Very, very much.
It's very rare. It's in Philly.
Very.
That's interesting. I thought that was interesting. Listen, it's been documented again. I feel like the Cowboys are taking a giant leap backwards. And I think the Eagles will sweep them this year. I like the Eagles a lot in this game Sunday night. It's a rivalry game, so it'll be close. However, I think the Eagles will get the dub.
Yeah, I do think that they'll win this game. However, we don't have to look it up. Just off the top of your head, though, can you remember a Eagles-Cowboys Sunday night game in Philly since the 44-6?
Well, they had the flex last year that ended the game. I think that was a flex to Sunday night, correct? That last game, the game towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the flat.
Yeah, but like so. No, I mean So going back in the past, let's say past 10 years, no, I don't.
They always play on Sunday night, but it's just always in Dallas.
And even with Monday Night Football, it was usually in Dallas too.
Yeah, for some reason, they usually have the home Eagles-Cowboys games at 4:30 in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're my personal favorite ones to go to. The 4:30 home games,
yeah,
my favorite ones to tailgate.
Yeah,
but for some reason, they just don't really happen. We don't have any home 4:25 games this year. So
wow, interesting.
So then we're hit with the bye week. Okay, and then we come back in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Week 8, come back, the Pennsylvania Bowl in Philly.
Yeah, Steelers are gonna be terrible this year. This could be Mike Tomlin's first losing year. I like the Eagles, and it's in Philly.
In Philly.
So historically, the Eagles played the Steelers well here, not well there. I like the Eagles.
I'm right there with you. I don't think the Steelers are as bad as maybe you do, but because I mean, honestly, Ben Roethlisberger was so bad last year that Trubisky's probably an upgrade at the quarterback position for them this year. So I still think the Eagles are better. I have them as a win. I'm taking them. I just think it's going to be a little closer game than you give it credit for.
Okay.
Now, here's where we have a potential trap game, Marcus. Because now, coming off the Steelers, you have Thursday night in Texas against the Houston Texans.
And Thursday night, those turnarounds are tough. And also, too, you're talking about a team home flying and going and playing on the road.
Yes.
Now, luckily, you have a trash bag opponent.
Yes.
So, I think they'll win the game, but it is a tough spot.
Yeah, I also have them for a win. I wouldn't bet the game. I would stay away from it from that standpoint, unless, obviously, say the Texans are just in the toilet bowl by then. But that could be a potential trap game. I have them as a win, but I would not bet the game. Now you have your 11 days off until you have another primetime game Monday night. So you have an extended break from Thursday night to Monday night.
Yep.
And you have Carson Wentz coming to town with the Commanders.
Yes, Eagles get revenge. They win the game. I still think Carson's playing well. Commanders are playing well, but coming home off that long break, you lost to them in Washington. You come back, get the win here.
Right there with you for all the exact same reasons. We're talking mid-November. Washington will probably be Washington by then. So, November 20th, you have the Eagles going to the Colts, and they no longer have Wentz, obviously. Now it's Frank Reich and Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice. This is a weird matchup.
It is.
I'm going Colts here. Colts should have made the playoffs last year. It's still ridiculous how they missed the playoffs. They're a really well put together team. They're another team that's searching for a quarterback. So, I think Matt Ryan, overall, Carson Wentz actually had a pretty good year last year until the end. And a lot of what happened with him was Jim Irsay just hates his guts. Jim
Irsay just hates Carson. That's just doesn't like that. Yeah, that's the only reason why Carson is not a Colt.
It fell apart. Yeah, it fell apart. It got weird. You lose to Jacksonville, you don't get the playoffs. But it's just he didn't like him. So that's why he's not there anymore.
Yeah,
like him. What's that?
Yeah, the owner just hates you.
Right. So now, you bring in Matt Ryan, who will be consistent. I think he's a good fit for what Frank Reich likes to do. Again, they have good skill positions, good solid defense, tough game, and plus playing that dome. I like the Colts.
I also picked the Colts. They're a good roster.
Mm-hmm.
I like Frank Reich as the head coach, obviously. And Matt Ryan, is he going to wow anybody or all that? No, but he is steady. He can keep the boat straight.
Right.
He will not let it sink. He's not going to go out in there and light it up and win anything necessarily himself, but he won't lose it for you.
He's going to look so weird in that white and blue.
It is going
to
to
be
look
very, very,
very odd. It is going to look very odd. But I have the Colts taking that game. If the game's in Philly, I might take the Eagles, but in Indy, I will take the Colts. Now we go to Marcus, another home primetime game. I will actually be at this game.
Okay.
Two-time back, or let me rephrase that. Back-to-back MVP comes to town with the Green Bay Packers playing the Eagles.
Another interesting matchup in the sense that how often does Green Bay come here? Usually the Eagles are going out to Lambeau.
Yes.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
So I like the Eagles come back winning this game. I think the Packers, I'm not listen, you got a two-time MVP. However,
no.
Definitely
three-time MVP.
Back MVP, right. This is a team that definitely could take a step backwards. There's already chatter, Aaron Rodgers not clicking with his new receivers.
Did you see what he did yesterday?
Say again?
Did you see what he did yesterday?
Yesterday, no.
He showed up to practice with a T-shirt that says Rodgers Lazard. Obviously, Alan Lazard is wide receiver.
Yeah.
With the apostrophe 23, like it's like the campaign, Rodgers Lazard 23.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Make Green Bay great again.
Okay. Well, according to reports, he's not happy with anything that's going on with those receivers, and he was calling them out a little bit in the media, which was He brought back up his immunization foolishness on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh yeah.
Like, we want to talk about that again. Anyway,
no one will ever be able to take away what he does on the field.
Correct.
But does he not want people to like him?
Yeah, he has a lot of Kyrie Irving in him. They're very similar personalities, a little divisive, a little weird. But yeah, so anyway, I like the Eagles. I think the Packers will definitely take a step backwards. I think they missed their window. I think they missed their window. They had a couple years in this past couple years where they were really good, and you thought they were getting back to the Super Bowl again. It just never happened. I don't think they're going to finish in the Final Four this year. I mean, in last year, man, I still can't get over the fact that you lost a home playoff game to the San Francisco 49ers and you didn't score a touchdown. Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
And whether or not, because listen, this is Green Bay. We know what it is. And Aaron Rodgers, we've seen him play really well in cold weather. So it wasn't that. And San Francisco, yeah, they have a really good defense, but to me, it's inexcusable to be at home as, divisional round, home bye, and you guys can't muster a touchdown to beat the 49ers. It's one of the wildest stories from this year, I feel, that they didn't get back. I mean,
listen, when you have a quarterback that makes $50 million a year, how are you supposed to put a roster around him?
True.
How am I I was explaining this to a couple weeks ago to my dad. Who were we talking about? I think actually we were talking about Rodgers. I know we were talking about a quarterback. I think actually it was Rodgers.
Okay.
Where I was like, if I'm the GM and you want $50 million. No, you know what? I think we were talking about Kyler. Where I was like, if you're the quarterback and you want $50 million and I give you $50 million, you need to play well enough to make up for the deficits that I can't buy now because I gave that money to you. If you want 40% of my salary cap and I give it to you, you need to play well enough to compensate for the 40% of the roster that I can't put around you. I can't give my quarterback $50 million, surround you with a bunch of $10 to $15 million offensive linemen to protect you, give you a $20 million receiver, give you a $10 million running back, and then pass rushers and a defense and corners and line. I can't give all that to you if you want $50 million a year.
In all fairness, too, like going back to Rodgers' contract, you could have kept Devontae Adams, but you can't do that if, again, you're making $50 million a year. And I think he knew that. And it's weird knowing like how intricate a part of the success of Green Bay Devontae Adams was, and you being selfish and not giving him some of that pot. We look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady has never.
Well, do you know where it first started going downhill when quarterbacks started taking the big deals and they fell up and the rosters fell apart? It was when Joe Flacco did it after he won the Super Bowl. I mean, they had to let go of all sorts of pieces off of that defense. I mean, now were they a little older? Yeah, but Ed Reed gone, Terrell Suggs gone, Haloti Ngata gone.
Yeah, if you need if you like what Tom Brady is really good at is and guys like Brady and Jordan, they're great at making their money other places. Like Tom Brady
Brady's different. Brady's different because he's not even the main breadwinner in his house.
Correct.
So
but Jordan did eventually the same thing. He never was getting paid.
No, top dollar.
Yes. But he had
that, and this is why
he had McDonald's. He had all of these brands, so he's making that money in other areas, other places.
And that's why LeBron's latest contract is a signal he'll never win another title. Because you can't take $50 million a year at age 38 or 39 or whatever he is and build a team around you.
Right.
Is LeBron still a top 5 player in the NBA at 39? Somehow, yes. But at 39, you can't drag the roster like you did at 29.
Correct. Yeah.
So now I don't want to get into basketball though. Today's a football day. So
yes. So
back to the schedule. Next up, we have. Oh, I'm sorry. So you had them winning against the Packers, right?
Got a dub. Yes, win.
Yeah. I have them actually taking the L. Just because until proven otherwise, Rodgers is still that dude.
Okay.
So you actually have some revenge for AJ Brown with the Titans coming to town.
Yes, and he will be up for that. I got to win. We go back to back.
I am for a win as well. You have Eagles going to the Meadowlands.
Win.
Giants.
Awful. End of story.
Yep. Then they turn around from there and go to Chicago.
Always in Chicago, I feel. Win. I like the Eagles and the Bears. Win.
So now we have Christmas Eve in Dallas.
Another win. I think they sweep the Cowboys this year.
Yeah, so do I. I just, by this point in time, I think that the Dallas Cowboys roster will be decimated. They will be potentially out of playoffs, and they just will not care.
You got Christmas Eve, Eagles, Cowboys, Christmas Day, Sixers, Knicks.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
We actually have a full slate of football on Christmas Eve, actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sports.
That's going to be a good weekend. That's a Saturday Sunday combo.
Saturday Sunday combo platter.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Then you have Marcus, avoid the city of Philadelphia on this day. New Year's Day, on the heels of the Mummers Parade, you have a 1:00 kickoff. The Saints and the Eagles.
This is, if this means something, the Eagles will win the game. If it doesn't, it's. I don't know. But I guess I'll pick the Eagles. But if it doesn't, it could be a game that doesn't mean anything. Especially if the Eagles get off to a hot start.
No. Think about this. Don't the Eagles have their draft pick?
Yes.
Eagles win. It's a better draft pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, never in my life will I ever pick Jameis Winston to beat me.
New head coach also.
Giants coming to town.
Giants coming to town to take a good old-fashioned L.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I don't care if the Eagles playing a third string. They're going to lose. They're going to beat the Giants.
So
Giants are in for a really, really rough year. Like I don't like honestly like the Giants could be our first 0-17. That's how bad they're going to be. They're going to be really bad. Like the Giants and the Jets both going to be really bad.
So, do you know what your win total is?
No.
We have the same win total. We just don't have the same games.
Okay. So where are we at?
We're both sitting at 14-3.
I only have 3 losses.
Yes, you have them losing. We both have them losing to the Commanders. You have them losing to the Cardinals. I have them losing to the Packers. And then we both have them losing to the Colts. We have them winning every other game.
I mean, listen.
When you take it for a week-by-week basis like we just did, it's hard to come off of that. Now, listen, Marcus, if you're feeling wild, okay, you can get Eagles at plus 13.5 wins right now at plus 580.
Yeah, as shocking as it sounds to say 14-3.
When you break it down week by week, that's not crazy.
I wouldn't change anything. Like when I said 11 wins last year, that sounded silly.
Yeah.
Even though I got close to it, it sounded silly.
It did.
After it was done, I was like, how did I have this team at 11 wins? But 14-3 with the schedule is not outrageous.
Think about it like this. We split on different games.
Yeah.
I mean, the only game
5-0.
The only game that we are 100%, I don't even know if 100% is the right amount, that we came to complete agreement they'll probably lose the game is the Colts.
Yeah.
Because we said they could beat the Commanders. The Commanders aren't a good team. We had them losing that game, but we could beat them. Then we split on the other two, which means one of the two of us thinks they're going to win. The only other consensus L we have is against the Colts.
14-3 is a bye and a home playoff game. That's a bye.
I mean, there's only one bye. Remember that.
I think that's the bye.
14-3. I mean,
talking you 15-2, 16-1. I don't think so.
No.
I think 14-3 is the best record you're to get from any team in the NFL. I don't see anyone winning more than 14 games.
At least not in the NFC.
Right. Yeah.
In the AFC, probably not, because they'll just kill each other over there.
Right.
But I mean, Tampa Bay is a decisive step backwards.
I agree. There's trouble in the Brady home.
Yes. Like I said, until proven otherwise, Rodgers is that dude. And then the Rams.
Yeah.
I have no faith in Trey Lance, so I'm not worried about the 49ers.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out either. Like I've already kind of decided that he's not it.
No.
So
like he's mad, and this is great because now we can get into around the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad they brought Jimmy G back. Like, who are you?
Right. Why would they not bring him back?
Like, you have a leash. Like, you are in the NFL, you are nobody. Right. You went to North Dakota State and you barely got it done there. You're just a physical phenom athlete. Now, I don't hate Trey Lance. I don't know the guy. But, like, you have no ground to be annoyed they brought him back. Yeah, they brought him back. He took him to a Super Bowl.
And what we've seen from Trey Lance, nothing has been like, oh, this is the man. This is it.
He made one throw all of preseason that was decent.
Yeah.
And it was because the receiver was a burner.
And the reports haven't been good out of there.
No.
Like, not even a little. Not
if
even at all.
Let's just call it what it is, okay? The 49ers purposely quenched and quelled his trade market. They did that themselves. They purposely put it out because they didn't like what they saw. If Trey Lance lights this up in training camp, Jimmy G is on the Seattle Seahawks right now.
Yeah.
Or Baker's on the Seahawks and Jimmy G's in Carolina.
All right. So what is your final four in the NFL this year?
Well, first I have two big AFC bold predictions.
Okay.
First is The Chargers come away with the number 1 seed in the AFC. Okay. I think Herbert's ready to make his ascension to a top 5 quarterback. They have a solid offensive line. Keenan Allen, one side. Other side, Mike Williams. As far as the skill position players around him go, they've got Joey Bosa already on defense. I love Murray, their middle linebacker. They got Asante Samuel Jr. Derwin James is back with a brand new deal. And in case all those people forgot, guess who's lining up on the other side of Joey Bosa this year? Yeah, Khalil Mack on the other side.
Yeah, which people like, that's a extremely underrated story in the NFL. It's Khalil Mack out there.
That you have potentially 5 Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the Chargers football alone. Not only wrong, they're in arguably the toughest division in the history of football.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not going to say but I like him. And number 2 is that, and we actually talked about this on the last episode. So I don't know how bold it necessarily is because I already talked about it and you kind of agreed with it. I think the Chiefs take a step back.
Yeah. I think for me, I think the Chiefs will be a wild card team this year. They make the playoffs, but
when you have Mahomes, you're still a problem when you have Patrick Mahomes, but they take a step back.
And I think a lot listen, you lost Tyreek Hill. We documented that, talked about that. But
top 5 fastest human on the planet.
Correct. I think what's not being talked about enough is Patrick Mahomes is that magic Mahomes. That's not there anymore. He's still really, really, really good. Don't get it twisted. He still can ball. No question about it. He can play. But the guy we saw in 2018, 2019, that type of stuff, I think that's dead.
Now, why is that?
Really, really good.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because I think what happens is these guys are really, really smart. These defensive coordinators, they're really, really smart. And when you have a guy, like, here's what Patrick Mahomes was doing. Those 2 years, he was making defensive coordinators look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Look absolutely dumb. Do you think these guys with these big egos, these big paychecks, you think they want to look dumb? Of course not. They're like, listen, I don't know if we want to say a best kept secret or worst kept secret. Here's how I see the NFL being. I think when you have a situation like that, you have the best defensive minds, like the Avengers, getting together in the offseason. And they're on the phone talking, trying to figure whatever the problem is out of this. Whatever this problem is, we're going to figure it out together. Like Bill Belichick's talking to Brandon Staley. They're communicating together to figure
I mean, don't forget about the legendary fishing trips of Jimmy Johnson, Bill Belichick, and Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Oh, even to this day.
Because if you saw if we solved this problem, it solved the problem we all have.
I mean,
like
I think, and this is just a theory. I have obviously no proof of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that on one of those trips, Nick Saban helped Bill Belichick kill the Dolphins Wildcat. I have no proof of it.
I think of it like, I'm not a huge Star Wars fans, but like, those Star Wars, those meetings, those rooms that look really futuristic, and major leaders are sitting together. This is how I picture when you have a problem, and Patrick Mahomes is on the big screen, and they're all taking turns getting up, figuring out how to fix this.
Well, it's like in Austin Powers when Dr. Evil's sitting there and they have like the big screen and he's like $100 billion, and it shuts down and they're like, they don't have $100 billion, you idiot.
Right. And like, a lot like the Bengals, their defense wasn't great, but you saw in the second half what they did. They said, okay, we're not going to let you turn this into a scramble drill. We're dropping everybody.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were leaning towards like the league caught up, or if it was personnel he lost, or he's sustained a couple injuries. Like he's not the same player physically he was when he came in the league.
And it could be a combination of all of that. But all of those things combined, I see him taking. He's going to be really, really good.
I mean, he still has the cannon.
He was an alien. He was an alien. He came down from a ship and landed and said, I'm going to play football. That's what it looked like the first couple years he was out there. The throws he was making, the no look, the shuffle here, the sidearms, the throwing all the way. Like, it was, what are we watching? What is this? What kind of, like, it looked like he was playing a different sport. Those days are over. That's done. That's done. The mystique and the fear of the Chiefs, that's done. Because you've lost the number one thing that made people so fearful of the Chiefs. So, yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think it's a wild card situation. I think they're fighting with a group of teams that last couple weeks to get in, and they do get in. But this will be the first year, 4 or 5 years they haven't been
4 straight AFC title games, yeah.
So yeah, they haven't been home for playoffs and an AFC Championship game. So It's been a big deal watching them take a step back. But
yeah, to answer your question, my final 4 I have in the AFC, I have Bills and Chargers.
Wait, hold on. Before you do that,
okay,
I have a question about Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
because here's the deal. Here's the deal with him. He's so unconventional and is so used to playing unconventional. It's kind of almost become to his detriment because now they're going to need him to play more traditional. Like, because last year you saw it start to happen where he made some really silly turnovers based on throws and things he could do previously because he's used to playing unconventional.
Okay.
Can he be more of a traditional quarterback?
I mean, I think, all right. So there's 2 different answers to that question. Can he? The answer is yes, because he has all the tools to be a conventional guy. He's big. He's strong. He can make every throw. He can see the field. He has full command of that offense. So can he? Yes. To answer your question, yes, he can. Will he? And does he have the ability to? I don't know. Because, like you said, it has become, backyard football has become his, not even second nature, first nature for him.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about this on the last show. If you were to go out and teach your son to play quarterback right now, you would not have him watch Mahomes.
No, absolutely not.
It's not how you would want to develop good fundamentals, good technique, and mechanics. It's not where you're going to get it from. So, can he? Yeah, because he has a physical ability. So, yes, he can. Will he? Is it the better question? And I don't know. He has the right coach. He has the right coach with him.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're Andy, but it's hard because if you're Andy Reid, these things that he did made your offense even more dynamic. And now you're saying, Patrick, I know we were doing all that stuff, but now we have to do this stuff, and we have to be more careful with the football. And it's going to be interesting down there to see how this plays out and what that offense looks like. I'm really curious to see what they look like now. What are they doing now? Because you know how Andy Reid does not like to run the football.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, they got Valdez-Scantling from the Packers. Mm-hmm. They brought in Juju Smith-Schuster from the Steelers. Mm-hmm. Did they bring in a third receiver? I feel like they did. I just can't remember who. I feel like they brought in a third receiver, though. They still have Mecole Hardman. Mm-hmm. They still have the best tight end in football. They have for now, yeah.
He's older.
He is.
4.
They have one of the better offensive lines in football. Mm-hmm. And they have a decent running game. Not the best running game. They just have a coach that just doesn't like to run it.
Right.
So, the Chiefs, they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
But they'll take a step back.
Agreed. All right. So back to you.
Oh, yeah. Final 4. So I have Bills and Chargers on the AFC side.
Okay.
I mean, I have, like I said, I have the Chargers as the number 1 seed. The Bills are going to be right there with them, unless obviously this somehow meets earlier in the playoffs. But if you ask me, 1 and 2, I'll give you how's this 1 and 2 seeds rather than the teams that meet in the end. I'll give you the top 2 seeds that I think: Chargers, Bills on the AFC side. I mean, hell, I just picked them for 14-3, so I got to pick the Eagles to be the number 1 seed. And then I really like the Rams. I think it's hard for me not to pick the Rams to be the first team to potentially repeat. Because they brought, like, OBJ could still re-sign, but they replaced him with Allen Robinson. Okay. You know, like, oh, they lost Von Miller. That sucks. They brought in Bobby Wagner.
Right.
So it's like they just reloaded rather than anything else. But if anything, they just restocked the cabinets.
Yeah, it was ugly them getting there, but now they've learned how to win also. That's a big deal to learn how to
Actually.
do the job.
Speaking of the Rams, let me get you, because we've been off for about 2 weeks or so. There's some things we're going to talk about. What's your take on the Aaron Donald practice thing?
Refresh my memory.
So they had a joint practice, Bengals, Rams.
Was it the fight?
Yes.
So I know about the fight. I don't know the details of the fight.
So Myles Garrett got suspended indefinitely, was turned into 6 games for hitting Mason Rudolph, I think it was, in the head with the helmet.
Right.
Aaron Donald has 2 helmets, 1 in each hand, going through a crowd, swinging them at players.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack right there. Well, that visual is wild. Let's start there.
Oh, I'm like 1 in each hand, like the Incredible Hulk, through a melee of Bengals players.
So there was no disciplinary action, right?
0.
Okay. Well, the number one difference we're gonna say is, no one saw it. Like it's not like it wasn't seen, and it didn't happen in the game. So like you would have millions of eyes on it, and like
obviously seen it's had millions of hits on social media.
Right. Him swinging helmets at practice, like weird things, crazy things happen at practice.
So let me give you some I don't maybe because I don't know if you know all the details then, because there's some fallout after it.
Okay.
So it's the NFL's policy not to punish anything that goes on in practice. It's strictly on the clubs. The NFL doesn't punish players in practice. They see that as team discipline. That's your duties.
Okay.
Despite the fact it was a joint practice, the NFL still says this is Rams' problem. This is practice. What the hell would the Rams suspend Aaron Donald?
Right.
Aaron Donald did an interview last week and asked about it. He goes, now I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exactly, but basically his point was, oh, it's just practice. Who cares? It wasn't a game.
Do we know the surrounding circumstances of what made him so angry?
Apparently, it was during a full, 11s on 11s, a full scrimmage session of the practice, and he was having to go up against a 7th round guy trying to make a roster on the last day of training camp. Well, you're a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
This guy's trying to make the roster. He's going to do everything in his power. And Aaron Donald was pretty much, from what I've gathered, it's Aaron Donald was trying to go through the motions because it was the last day. He didn't really care. And this guy was scratching and clawing for his life to make the Bengals roster and saw, hey, I'm going up against Aaron Donald. What can I do? And Aaron Donald was like, hold on, young fella. I'm just going to pummel you with these helmets.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you listen. You hit it on the head. Like, if you're putting it in the team's hands, why would I do that? Why would I suspend him? Like, I don't care who's swinging helmets at your team. Like, so, but the NFL could definitely step in and say, "Whoa, hold on a second." But it's practice, so I guess they're saying you're in charge of that.
It's in the NFL's.
Yeah, which makes sense. But this is an extenuating circumstance.
And my thing is if I'm Myles Garrett, I'm sending my agent sending a very sternly worded letter to the commissioner's office.
Right.
Because I missed out on 6 games of pay during my contract season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a
And I mean, I don't understand. Aaron Donald's been doing this for a decade or whatever in the NFL, how long he's been playing. But like, it's not like Myles Garrett is a scrub.
right,
I mean, he's a top 5 defensive lineman in the game.
right.
So I just wanted to get your take on it on that. More the
The idea of Aaron Donald swinging helmets at people is terrifying. I mean, Aaron Donald is a terrifying human being. But I still am confused why that man decided he wanted to fight Aaron Donald in the club. Like,
oh
there's
yeah,
so many decisions that you can make, and one of them is walking away and saying, "I'm sorry." I'm sorry.
you know,
How did you think that was gonna go, bro?
why have we not talked about how much of a problem that Pittsburgh defense was in college?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They had Revis and Donald on the same team.
It's disgusting.
Like, that's not right.
It's not fair.
And they still sucked.
Yeah.
So back to the NFC. I have my I said the Rams and the Eagles. What are your final four?
So I think the Raiders are going to be really good at football this year.
All right, make sure you repeat that to our guest next week because he'll love that.
I think I actually have the Raiders in the AFC Championship game this year.
All right, he'll really love that.
I think they're going to be really good at football this year. I like them a lot. And I think they have the ingredients. They have the skill. It's all covered. I like them a lot. I'm leaning towards. See, the Bills is another team that I'm looking at them taking a step back. Like we talked about this, I think on and off the air.
Yeah,
I just look at that loss last year.
And how do you come back from that?
That is a soul snatching loss. Like that is like that literally is waking up in cold sweats in the middle of the night type of loss.
Oh, it is.
I just can't see a scenario where and then you got the situation with the punter.
Oh,
yeah, things that happen when
what a terrible human being.
Right. But like when you have stuff like this, it's not looking good for you. It's not. You're not going in a positive direction. And we've talked about Sean McDermott, great guy, doing a phenomenal job building that program. I don't think this. I think they've. I'm not going to say their window's closed. I'm not going to say that. I don't think this year is the year for them.
Okay.
I've been really high on the Bills for years now, but I don't see this. I don't see this being something that's going to work out in their favor.
No, that's fair.
I have a couple teams that I can see the Raiders matching up with. The Chargers is one of them.
Oh wow!
Bengals is
one of them. The division AFC game.
You could have had the Bengals, another team that I think they're not going anywhere. This is hard. This is really, really hard. Because there's a couple teams I really like. Being the Bengals and the Chargers, really the ones I'm debating the most. Because I don't think Denver's ready. This year, they're gonna be good. They'll be around, but I don't think they're ready. While the AFC West is gonna be really, really good, I don't see Denver and Kansas City being a threat to the Raiders and the Chargers. I think the Raiders and the Chargers are the best two teams in that division.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Anybody from the AFC? I feel like I missed the Ravens. Be in the conversation.
The problem, the big thing is that it's top heavy divisions.
Yeah.
Like no one from the AFC South is going to be relevant.
Right.
No one from the AFC East besides the Bills are going to be relevant. So you have the North beating each other up, and you have the West beating each other up, with the Bills saying, "Hey, we're here too." I don't have any faith in the Patriots. I don't think not to make any real noise.
I'm gonna go Raiders Bengals.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Raiders Bengals.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think the Browns can hold everything together until Deshaun comes back?
Yes. However,
do you not believe it?
You're asking a lot from Deshaun Watson, who hadn't played football in like 2 years.
Now, next year, Cleveland could be a problem.
Yes, I think they will be next year. But you're asking a lot for it to be this year. I think Bengals Raiders. But I do think this. I think we get our first Herbert Burrow playoff game.
Ooh,
Can we get our first Burr Herbert playoff game?
hell yeah!
I think that happens this year.
I
think
hope so.
and
The
beginning that rivalry of those two, because those
listen,
the
the
Brady
brand needs it. The Bradham and Emery brand needs that.
yes we do.
Like
Yeah.
we need that.
We need that to happen.
That is going to be a war. That the show leading up to that game is going to be a war, and I hope you're ready for it.
I am prepared. Yes. But yes, yeah, I'm gonna go Bengals Raiders on that side of the bracket. The NFC is tough. You know, we got the Eagles at 14-3, but just because they're 14-3 doesn't mean they go to the NFC Championship game. I could totally see them going 14-3 and losing at home in a divisional round. I could see that happening because the playoffs is a different animal, and we don't know. When you're game planning, you're narrowed down to playoff game planning. We don't know if Jalen Hurts can be able to stand up to that yet. I think Jalen Hurts can be really good and effective in the regular season, but we saw what that looked like in the playoffs. So I could very easily see the Eagles winning, not winning a playoff game and having a bye. I'm with you. I think the Rams will be back in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I would just be very surprised if the Rams just fall off. You know what I mean?
I guess okay. So the teams that are going to be really good in the AFC, the Packers are a playoff team. I'll make a prediction also. I think the Cowboys do not make the playoffs. That's my bold prediction. I think they won't make the playoffs. I think they're shut out for the playoffs. They're home in December. But anyway, so the Rams are being a playoff team. Obviously, the Packers playoff team. The Niners, the Eagles. Who am I missing? Commanders. I think they'll make the playoffs this year.
Bucks. That's 6.
So we're missing one. That doesn't matter. So out of those 6,
whoever the 7th seed is, they're not going to win, so it doesn't matter.
Right. The teams that have the best shot, I guess, are because here's the thing with the Packers. The Packers, there's no competition in their division. They're kind of like the Patriots 10 years ago, where they're going to win division by fault and have an easy road to rack up wins and get a high ranking in the playoffs. But I think I could see them taking a step back. I think by default, it may just be the Eagles. Because you look at it like, listen, going week to week.
Exactly. Like when you break it, like I said, like it seems crazy to think about and when you say it, but when you break it down on a week by week basis and only put each week in its own individual vacuum,
yeah,
it's hard to pick anybody else.
And listen, it's hard. I know why we're both like hesitant to say these things because like it sounds homerish. We got the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. They're winning 14 games. But really, if you look at the roster, this is not wild. This is not really a wild thing to say.
I can only tell people what the schedule tells me.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my own slant on it. Like we could have easily went through this list and made them 16-1 with only losing to the Colts.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just on paper, it's hard to pick against it.
Right.
And like I said, if we had Deshaun Watson, this is a 17-0 team with this schedule.
Right. And listen, you're gonna have the ebbs and flows. We're not counting injuries and things of that.
Yeah, this is a perfect. This is as if the NFL was a nice spring day, 75 and sunny with no breeze. There's no issues and all of that. This is the perfect scenario in the NFL season. That is how we get to where we came with our predictions.
Yes. So, yeah, I think like we both said a lot of really interesting things. I mean, I think your Charger prediction is interesting. We both lock in step with the Chiefs taking a step back. I think you agree with me with the Cowboys taking a step back,
big time, especially with the injuries.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the Raiders are gonna be really, really good at football.
Oh man, Peters signs.
Yep. Yeah. Ugh.
I didn't even bother bringing it up because it's an irrelevant move.
Yes.
Like obviously he is going to be a Hall of Fame player.
Correct.
But at 40 years old, after what he just did in Chicago last year,
right,
and what he did for the Eagles the previous 3 years post Super Bowl, I mean, I know firsthand, or I don't know. I don't know firsthand because I don't work for a casino. Let me rephrase that. I have firsthand information that Jason Peters is severely in debt to the Atlantic City casinos. That's why he plays football.
Wow. Wow. Well, if that's the case, that's sad.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't work for a casino. I don't know any, but I have heard from people that do have way bigger connections than I have. That's the only. That's why he keeps coming back. He needs money.
Yeah.
He's broke.
Wow.
I mean, Howard Eskin just did a 2-hour special on his show the other day, basically talking about how broke Jason Peters is. I'm not the only one saying this.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
So, but on Friday, I also have a lot. We'll get into Eagles betting odds on Friday.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do more national stuff on Friday also.
Man.
Big stories leading into Sunday, and we'll have a football game to recap.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I'm so ready for that. So
yeah, Rams Bills. So we'll be able to recap that on Friday also.
Yeah. So I heard there was heard you had some finessing going on in your world the other day.
Yo, my grandma played me big time. Ooh. So listen. So this past year, I've taken upon myself the project to get my grandma out of the city to the suburbs, closer to myself, my family.
Yeah, I mean, closer to everybody.
Yeah, it's just she's down there. It's not a safe neighborhood, so we're trying to sell her house. We got that done, and we got her moved out here. She's actually now on the mountain, 10 minutes from me.
Oh,
yes. So the move officially happened. It was last Thursday they moved in, and getting unpacked, stuff like that. But they're packing down in the city, packing everything up. So I'm on the phone with my grandma, asking her how things are going. She's telling me, oh, we're packing up this, packing up that, whatever. So I came across some of your old stuff. So I actually found a baseball. She's like, it's autographed. I'm like, oh, really? Because I don't remember this at all. She's like, yeah, it's Mike Schmidt. I was like, Michael Jack Schmidt? I have a autographed Michael Jack Schmidt. I'm all excited. I'm like, are you kidding me? Then my uncle comes over and goes, it says Mike Smith.
Oh, wow.
I went from this high off the ground to just sitting down going, well, how do we get Mike Schmidt and Mike Smith? And I'm at this point, I'm like, who's Mike Smith? And why autograph a baseball?
Mike Smith?
I don't even, I can't, listen, here's the best part about this. I can't find a Mike Smith that played for the Phillies at any point in time. When I Google Mike Smith, Mike Schmidt comes up. I have no idea who Mike Smith is. I don't know. You know how sad I was? I was big sad.
Wow. I guess this is a bad time to tell you that my dad has a Mike Schmidt bat.
Really?
Yes.
You sure it wasn't Mike Smith?
No. He said Mike Schmidt handed it to him.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, he used to do a lot of work down at the vet.
Okay.
So he was like, I would go in there. He's like, I used to eat lunch with Buddy Ryan. He's like, when I would be down working at the vet, he's like, I would walk into the cafeteria and he's like, Buddy Ryan might just be in there eating lunch.
That's amazing.
He's like, I one time ran into Buddy Ryan in an elevator. He's like, it was just me and him. He's like, it was the most scared I've ever been in my life. He's like, he came in, looked at me, pushed his glasses up and said, I wish they would get to work fixing the air conditioners around here. He goes, I don't think he realized I was there to fix his air conditioner. So he goes, I just stood there and he's like, yeah, a bunch of things that I can't say on the show. We need to get this place cooled down, and walked away. And my dad's like, I knew he was referring to me. I don't know if he knew he was referring to me.
But he knew he was talking about.
He's like, yes, I used to see Buddy Ryan all the time. He's like, I would like all that whole era of like the 80, like the late 70s, to the 80s.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I would run into them all the time. He would all be working down at the vet all the time, run into them. So he's like, I would watch batting practice. He's like, I would see some things that you don't want to know about your heroes.
Yeah, it seems to go that way when you get closer to them.
And I mean, let's just be honest. Baseball players in the 80s were wild people.
Yeah, doing wild things.
Doing wild things.
Yeah.
Like the 93 Phillies were like the tamest of all of them.
Yes. Yes.
And that says a lot. So, well, I guess, do we go? I don't know if this is also a finesse or not, but you told me we had to make a topic bar specifically for this, so I need to know.
Yeah. Listen, love my wife to death. Love her to death, obviously. That's why I married her. But she doesn't understand the system.
Okay.
See, every person has their own system, their own way of doing things.
Uh-huh.
Right? We all have our operational system.
Yes.
So Amber's problem is that she doesn't like the way I do things. So she disrupts my system. For instance, we all like I'm a grown ass man. So I don't wear pajamas.
Okay.
Like I wear, basketball shorts.
Yeah.
That's the bedroom tire.
Yeah.
We all know, like, as guys, like, I got a pair of basketball shorts out. I can use them for 2 to 3 days.
Fact.
3 days out of them.
Easy.
Unless I did something crazy.
Fact.
I can get 2 to 3 days out of them sleeping.
Minimum.
So I put them in the same spot where I keep them, because my system. That's my system. That's where I like things to go. It's bedtime. Brushing my teeth. Maybe taking a shower, whatever, if I didn't take one earlier or whatever. Go out and get my shorts. They're not there where I left them. Oh, I threw them in the wash. I didn't want you to throw them in the wash. I didn't want you to do that. She doesn't understand the system.
I'm trying to wear them right now.
I'm trying to wear them right now. No.
That's a tough one.
Bad. And we've been down this road. This is the one area we constantly bicker about. Is her going against the system. And here's the best part about her. When I say the best, I mean the worst. Is that she will take something, put it I'll put something somewhere. She'll take it, put it somewhere else, and forget where she put it.
Oh,
quick story. This literally made me want to spit nails. So I have my sunglasses, right? And I knew I was going somewhere the next day. So I left the sunglasses in my car down at the bottom where I can see them. I left them there. I was like, I'm going to use them tomorrow. I'll leave the car down here.
Yep.
Amber drove the car. And she goes to work the next day. So I'm getting ready to leave. I'm looking. I don't see my sunglasses. I'm like, what? At first, I'm like, where did they go? Did someone take them? So now I'm back in the house. I'm looking all the spots that I would put them based on my system.
Makes sense.
It's on my system.
Makes sense.
I'm going to all the system spots.
Yep.
But what is she doing? She's using her system. So I call her up and say, hey, where are my sunglasses? She said, oh, I moved them and so I have an actual sunglass holder in my car where you tuck them up.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Correct. I have one of those. I never use it, though. I just don't use it. It's not part of my system. It's not why I do things. I thought you like them there because, they won't get broken. That would be great. But how about, I moved your sunglasses to somewhere you're not going to be able to see them.
Yeah, it's definitely throws a wrench in your system.
It throws a real huge wrench in the system because I have no idea where I'm looking for them.
Now, I have a broader question now.
Okay.
Why are you not using the sunglass holder?
I have started. Well, it's funny. So after that, I've added that to my system. So I do use a sunglass holder from time to time. Now, typically, I keep my sunglasses inside. I want to clean them off before I put them on and stuff like that. So I keep them inside so I can go right over to the sink, clean them off, whatever like that, so they're ready to go.
What are you doing where they get so dirty?
Well, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes they just get a little dust speckles on there. I gotta give them a little 1-2. Give them a little clean.
Sounds like you're cleaning your glasses way more than they need, though.
It's part of the system, Justin.
All right, system play. System play. I got it.
Yeah. It's like a thing. It's like a ritual for me where I gotta clean them off.
It's system play. I hear you. I get system play.
So I don't know. This is something that we'll be fighting and arguing about until we're old. Like Amber versus the system versus my system. And we all do it. We all, as couples, as people, we have our own individual way of doing things. Like back when I was a teacher, I had, we have everything we accumulate through all our years of teaching. And like, it looks like if you looked at my cabinet, you'd be like, what is this disaster? I could tell you where everything was. I knew where everything was based on the way I had it put away.
Yeah, that's giving me some anxiety just thinking about opening that cabinet.
Yeah, but I knew where. You asked me where. Yeah, right here. I knew where everything was. So I had this lady came in. I loaned her my classroom for the summer because I went downstairs for the summer to run summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
She was upstairs in my room as a loaner. You're a guest in my space. She rearranged all my stuff.
Ooh.
Do you know the freak out I had the end of August?
Oh, I hope a big one.
I flipped out. I was just like, how dare you come someone else's space and move your stuff around? Because you're trying to implement your system, but here's the deal. This is not your house. You're renting. You can't come into my room and establish your government. This is my government still.
Yeah.
You're under Bradham rule. Gotta respect people's systems. It may not be your system, but you respect their system.
Yeah, no, for sure.
See, you had questions about the sunglasses. You said, simply you're washing a lot. You're probably right, I am, but it's my system. It's what I do. That's all.
I have to strongly agree with pretty much everything you've said.
Well, I appreciate that.
I too have a system. Though I feel like I'm much more flexible with my system than it sounds like you might be.
Ironclad.
Yeah, it seems like that. I seem to be a little bit more flexible, but I too have a system. So I hear exactly what you're saying. But my biggest thing is I've been implementing the sunglasses into my rotation.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the sunglass holder.
Yes.
That's why I was just a little taken aback. Like that is such a big plus. That
I agree.
I was surprised. I was more taken aback that you haven't been using that than anything else.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I haven't. Well, I will say this too. I've just recently gotten back into sunglasses because for a while I wasn't wearing them because I would always lose them. But like when we got married last year, I bought a really nice pair of sunglasses I love. So it got me back into the mode of wearing sunglasses. So yeah. So like now I'm sunglasses every day.
Oh, I actually didn't start using sunglasses till I moved to Vegas.
That makes sense.
I mean, like I owned them.
Kind of necessity.
Yeah. Oh, bro, you don't even know.
Yeah.
You don't even know. Like I said, I owned sunglasses before I lived there, but when I moved there, it was keys, phone, wallet, sunglasses. Like, and it went from I own one pair to now I own three because I have one in the car, one in the house, and backup in case. Now I usually though take my sunglasses inside for a different reason. If I'm going to walk swoop during the day, I don't want to have to go out to my car, get my sunglasses, all that. But during the winter, like when I know I'm not going to take this dude out when it's 20 degrees for a walk, I'll leave him in the car. Yeah. Hence the sunglass thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we only got a couple quick facts to get through, and then I got nothing else unless you do.
I don't.
All right. So on this day, 1995, Cal Ripken breaks the consecutive game streak.
One of the most overrated.
Thank you.
Ever happened in sports.
I was really hoping that you wouldn't go the other way on this.
Maybe the most overrated thing that ever happened in sports. It's just it drives me crazy. I like Cal Ripken Jr. to me is highly overrated as a player. If you go through his stats throughout his years, and that stat is just something I couldn't care less about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You got up and you went to work, and you great.
I agree 100.
I don't know. I don't think it should have been nearly. But listen, is it a footnote in history? Yes. Should it be acknowledged? Yes. But the deal that was made out of it, And all the years and games that he played when he shouldn't have been playing, when he definitely needed days off. I don't know. To me, it's overrated.
No, I 100% agree, and I'm very happy that you have the same take on it that I do. And you probably worded it a lot better than I did as well, so I also appreciate you for that as well.
That's why I'm here.
1901, President William McKinley is shot. It is perhaps the one president, when going through history, you think about the presidents that are assassinated, one that is usually the most forgettable one when it comes to assassinated.
Yeah. I forgot about it until you just said it just now.
Yeah. He's the one that
yeah, you're thinking Lincoln, you're thinking Kennedy. Yeah, you're not really thinking McKinley.
No. 1997, 2.5 billion people watched the funeral for Princess Diana on TV. Elton John would then later go on and re-record a special version of Candle in the Wind that he wrote specifically for that, which to this day is currently the biggest selling single of all time, is the rewritten version of Candle in the Wind for Princess Diana.
That was a
surpassing
pop culture.
Yes, surpassing. I know you know the answer to this. What song did it surpass, Marcus?
As the
number one single of all time.
So We Are the World?
Come on, Marcus. You know the answer to this.
I don't know this.
You know this. You think about it. Who is one of your favorite artists that is a legend of legends of legends of legends of legends?
That single of all time?
Yes.
Michael Jackson?
There you go. You have the artist. Now, like I said, Candle in the Wind overtook this. So this was it prior to that. So we're talking prior to 97.
So Billie Jean?
No.
Was it a Thriller album?
Yes.
Beat It?
No.
Thriller?
There you go. Prior to that, Thriller was the number one single in the world. Then Candle in the Wind, the rewritten version, like I said, the Princess Diana funeral version, overtook Thriller.
Wow. I mean, honestly, I didn't know Thriller was that high.
Oh yeah.
The actual song.
I'm actually more disappointed that it took me some probing to get it from you. Yeah. I know how big of a
the reason why I went We Are the World was also Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Is like that broke a lot of records. I think it's the number one charity single of all time.
Oh, it is. It is. It's not even close.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting.
So this is the number one artist single was Thriller. Oh, like I said, only be overtaken by the Elton John one.
Yeah, that was a big deal, man. That like back, like I remember, the coverage of that and how the major deal, a big event in pop culture.
I was like 8, so I don't remember.
Fair enough.
I mean, I remember my mom watching the funeral, but like I said, I was in like 2nd grade. Yeah. I didn't even know who Princess Diana was. I didn't even know there were still princesses. You know what I mean?
Right.
The only princesses I knew about was on Aladdin. I didn't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, and then we just have one more. In 1996, Orioles legend, 500 home runs. You're a legend if you hit 500, right?
Eddie Murray?
Yes. 500th home run.
One of the angriest looking people in the history of life.
Listen, he could have a smile on his face and still look like he wants to kill you.
Yeah, but legendary Jerry Curl. Big Jerry Curl talk. That Jerry Curl was everything.
Would you put that on the Mount Rushmore of Jerry Curls?
Yeah, it's a good Jerry Curl there.
Who put on there? Who off the top of your head, who are some other candidates?
Michael Jackson had a legendary Jerry Curl.
Okay.
I mean, Michael Jackson to me probably is the defining Jerry Curl.
Okay, so he's number one. Number
Rick James.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Big time.
Nice Jerry Curl. Jerry Curl juice. Spraying that.
Yeah.
I'm a guy you may not know, but 80s legend Billy Ocean. Get out of my dreams, get in my car.
Familiar with the name, don't know what he looks like.
Get out of my dreams, get in my car. That guy.
Okay. Nice
Jerry Curl. And then Eddie Murray.
What about I mean, obviously they were old pictures of him.
Yeah.
Can't leave out Cube. Young Cube.
Oh yeah, Young Cube. Yeah. Yeah, Young Cube definitely is a consideration for legendary Jerry Curls.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I got nothing. I'm just happy the football's back, man.
Yeah. I'm good with everything that happened today.
Fire intro song.
Yep. Yeah. I think we covered everything we need to cover for the season premiere.
Yeah, we will be back Friday at 10 a.m.
Yes, at Marques Between everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app.
Brad Memory Pod everywhere. BradMemory.com for the merch. Check out our friends at Vans Jewelers and support them. 332 York Road. Get that bling.
Bling, 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 bling.
You could be with us, you could be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.